That's the last time that I ever eat a jawbreaker. There was a Doctor Who monster that was made, but they were supposed to only have one eye, and they did that by having a toy eye in their mouth, didn't they? What episode was that? Oh, this is where I left you. Yeah, you're that invisibility hat that from that skit that no one watched, How to Defeat a Zombie 2. Huh. Yeah, I forgot. Every time I put you on, I become invisible to everyone. Not that it really matters, because, you know, there's no one around even watching at this point, so... yeah. Still, one day it might come in handy. And as I know from my future self from that one skit that everyone watched, Checkers, apparently Harry's going to be a problem soon. So, hey, I'm actually doing it. I used to never be able to do this. Oh, right, the Ark. I should realize now that every time that I make a reference to a Doctor Who episode, it means that it's time for my next review. Frick. So, hey, what's up guys, it's probably not my review YouTube here, and welcome to my review of story number 23, The Ark. Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. An actual DVD. Not a reconstruction. This is the earliest full surviving episode of season 3. This isn't even animated like The Reign of Terror. It is all parts exist. Marathon that I'm doing, this is the first DVD to be in the marathon after the introduction of loose cannon reconstructions. Because when I showed my first loose cannon reconstruction in this marathon, which was Mission to the Unknown, it's all been loose cannon reconstructions until this guy came along. So, let's get started with this nice little 4-parter, which will finally give us a break from pictures. Sorry, I couldn't think of anything clever to say. Let's just get on with the review. Here it is, an actual case. Story number 23, just as I said. Yeah. Sure. There we go. Ooh. Disc looks nice and clean, non-scratched, non-dusted, looking good. Eh. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow, wow. And here we are. Finally, an actual disc menu. Okay, that guy needs a lozenge. This feels so weird. I'm so used to going into a loose cannon reconstruction. It's been forever since it's been an actual DVD, so... anyway, I hit enter instead of play. Let's start episode 1. So the episode begins with a very rare glimpse of wildlife. I can imagine many people confusing this by saying this is the first time that we actually see true wildlife. But we did see real horses in Marco Polo. Then again, I guess we didn't because that's technically not official until it's found. But anyway, so we get a nice little glimpse of a lizard right here. Well, this was written by 2 people, Paul Erickson and Leslie Scott. And then we are introduced to the Jawbreaker Eaters. Oh my god. Why is Dodo such a pain in the butt? I think she's kind of one of those teenage girls who doesn't care about school and stuff like that and just wants to have a blast through high school, and she's obviously very gullible and stuff. All of you kids watching this, stay in school. It is really important. It'll help you out in life. It'll help you get a job. If you just focus so much on having fun in high school, it's gonna suck when you graduate, because if you don't do well in school, then it's gonna suck, because then... listen, it's kind of like asking, would you rather have your next few years be a blast and then the rest of your life be a total living hell? Or have your next few years be a total living hell and then the rest of your life be a total blast. And I'm not saying that if you have fun in school, the rest of your life is going to be a total living hell. And I'm not going to say that if the rest of high school is a total living hell, then your life is going to be amazing from there on out. But the chances of that not happening are very small. So, the chances are in your favor. If you focus on school, stay in school, resist the teenage urge to go do some fun stuff. All you kids watching this, you gotta be ready, okay? When you become a teenager, there are gonna be things attacking your mind telling you to not do the important stuff, like listen to your parents and stuff like that. Try to fight those things. You can resist the attackers. Imagine them as alien parasites trying to attack your brain and try to mind control you. Don't let them change who you are. Keep focusing on what is important.
It can't be. Yes, it is. I'll bet if you go down that path there, you'll come to the American bison and the T-bar.
What's a T-bar? Yeah, according to Google, it's not an animal. Maybe she is just talking about like a bar that serves tea. I don't know.
We don't even know that we're on Earth. Earth? Earth? Well, it couldn't be anywhere else now, could it?
I should point that these two are doing an awesome job at acting. Steven's doing a great job at pretending to be super annoyed, and Dodo's doing a good job of being annoying.
Look, that's a locust. There, what did I tell you?
But how do you know?
Oh, no, school. There's nothing you can tell me about nature, you know.
And it's second floor?
No. Just don't remember when slave being so rowdy, that's all.
Look, wait, look, look,
That's all.
look. This is the first time that I actually see Dodo having a face of doubt, and it's barely anything.
All I can say is it is more likely to be Earth than anyone else. It's very strange indeed. You know, I've been taking a look at my instruments in there, and it's really very strange.
Why is this jawbreaker man so close to them? He could easily get caught. He's like probably in Steven's line of sight.
In these grave sentences, the lightest sentence I can pass is one of miniaturization. Prepare the metaphor. Sentence will be carried out immediately. The prisoner will be retained of microcell size to be reconstituted in approximately 700 years' time. Then it can no longer be a danger.
He's gonna be dead. He would have been stepped on after 10 years. Why are you...
Prosecution accept this sentence?
That's the lightest thing? Gee, suddenly jail doesn't seem so great anymore. Not encouraging going out and committing crimes, by the way. You kids know that's stupid, right?
Oh, bless you, my dear. You have a handkerchief, I hope? Well, then use it, my child.
Thanks, Doctor. I needed that.
That reminds me, why are you dressed in these stupid clothes?
Ooh, Doctor doing some roasting.
Including the Daleks. Nero, the Trojan Wars, the Daleks. But all that happened in the first segment of time. Segment, to use your phrase, what segment are we in now? The 57th. Good gracious. We must have jumped at least.
So the Dalek invasion of Earth, which happened in 2164, happened in the first segment of time, which means that the leap that we have made from nothing in the universe to there being galaxies, suns, planets, humans who created buildings, created the internet. Or did the internet exist here? Well, it's 2164, so yes, they would have created the internet then. They would have made like ultraviolet TV, 3D TV, blah 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 blah. Who knows what they'll have by 2164, seeing as how big technology is growing now. The jump from nothing to all that we have and beyond another over a century and a half is still considered to all happen in the same segment of time. So what possibly caused the leap from the first segment of time to the second? Like, are these like evenly spread out segment of time? Cause like, or are they like, as soon as there's a big accomplishment, then it's another segment?
What about my father?
We may well die. But then again, so might all of us. In which case, it was pointless leaving.
Well, I kind of lost all faith in humanity's imagination. Because, like, you know, you have those classic television shows where, like, you know, someone goes invisible, the people turn evil, the people get weakened and stuff like that. All those ideas that are made in television shows that are probably being made right now somewhere are so basic compared to the ideas that they had way back in the 60s. Like this one, the idea that humans have figured out how to cure the common cold. Since no one had the common cold anymore and no one could catch it anymore, then that caused the human body to genetically lose its ability to defend itself against the common cold. So now, the common cold is fatal to them. But it shouldn't matter anyway, because no one should get the common cold anymore until Dodo comes along. Dodo. Her name fits her well. But anyway, so she does have the common cold, so then she spreads it to these guys and now they're all dying. So, very good idea. I'm proud of this episode. Bow wow wow, 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 bow wow wow.
I don't know. Sounds like savages.
If only they knew.
It's much better. Everything's going to be all right.
They cured the common cold again.
You have nothing further to worry about, sir. The sick have been tended to, and the others immunized against further attack. Thank you, Doctor. So you're right after all.
Doctor, the commander's fever's gone down, so he's going to be all right.
splendid.
As much as everyone loves to see the villain's face when, like, you know, when he realizes that his idea failed and stuff like that, it is pretty nice to see the guy being so chilled with the fact that he was wrong. It's okay to be wrong. Don't defend yourself being right all the time. If you come up with an idea and then someone comes up with a point that pretty much disproves your idea and proves that it's wrong, don't keep on trying to defend yourself and keep on trying to prove that it's right. It may be wrong, and that's wrong. Unless if you are, like, absolutely sure that the reason that he's stating it's wrong is ridiculous, and you think that there is still quite a big possibility that you're right, then yeah, sure, defend your idea. It's just that, you know, like, we are all individuals, but at the same time, the human race is kind of a community. All 7 billion of us are kind of meant to be working as if we were just one being. That's why we have such limited lifespans. If we could live forever, then we would probably just find out all the secrets of the universe and keep it to ourselves and maybe share it with a few other people that we care about. And then the rest of the people would have to figure it out by themselves. But since we have such limited lifespans, if we find a little bit of knowledge that gets us a little bit closer to figuring out why we still exist, if we die, then that knowledge dies with us. But if we can write it down, or record ourselves saying it, or tell other people about it, and they can tell the future generations about it, then we can keep that knowledge going. And then collectively, the human race will eventually be able to figure it out. But at the same time, if you met all those people who won Nobel Prizes, probably when we do figure out why we exist, whether it's some sort of energy source, or something a lot more pathetic than that, or a lot more extreme than that, supposedly, we wouldn't be able to figure it out if it wasn't for the ideas of all the people who won Nobel Prizes. And yes, if those people didn't figure it out, probably someone else would have figured it out not that much later, but we figured it out a bit sooner, so, you know, so we're probably gonna get a little bit closer sooner. When someone else proves you wrong, just be okay with it. You're probably gonna prove them wrong with something someday. We then have this unnecessarily 50-second long clip of the monoids, I think they're called, driving the Dr. Stephen and Dodo to the TARDIS, them entering the TARDIS, and then the monoid backing up. Like I get because they need a cool editing thing to make it seem like they appeared in the same place. Because what happens unexpectedly is that the TARDIS appears to land in exactly the same spot, just a few seconds after they left. It's not like they're gonna enter one of those time travel things where like they appear a few seconds before they left and they're gonna have two of them running around. As cool as that would be for a story, they land just a few seconds after they left, so they just made a few second jump into the future. However, instead of just simply taking off again, they had to follow the rules of the story and have to explore, like on the Mary Celeste and the chase. What was the point of that? The Daleks were after them. Why are they why are they getting off the ship? They need to take off and run away from the Daleks. But then we have this cliffhanger, which is an amazing cliffhanger. Surprisingly, none of the people who were in the first episode appear to be around. And then they find this huge statue thing, which back when they arrived the first time, only had the feet ready. And now, it's complete. But instead of it having the head of a man, like it was intended to be, it has the head of a monoid. Bow wow wow, bow wow wow, bow wow wow. So as it turns out, what happened is that they didn't appear in the exact same spot a few seconds after they left. They actually arrived 700 years after they left. Which, according to the humans' calculation of the spaceship, the statue should be finished, and they should be arriving at the new planet that they're arriving at, because the Earth was dying, so they needed a new planet to live on. And, believe it or not, the statue is finished, and they are almost at the planet. The only thing is that, as I said before, the statue has the head of a monoid instead of a man. We later figure out that a lot has happened over the past 700 years. The monoids, who were kind of treated as kind of slaves to the humans, actually ended up hating their jobs being slaves, surprisingly. So they figured out how to talk by themselves, and they also eventually figured out how to overpower the humans somehow. And now they reversed it around, so now they're the slaves. It's kind of a very interesting theory, because it also kind of brings us to racism back in the past. Sorry, I know that racism is kind of a strong topic, but you know how back in the past, black people were treated as slaves to the white people, and white people were considered the dominant race, and then black people had to lumber under their commands. However, eventually, Martin Luther King, and probably a few other black people, probably even before that failed, but they managed to rise up and say, no, we are just as equal as white people. We can't control if we're born black or white. If we could, then we'd obviously choose white. We're not in control of our color of skin, and even if we were, there's no difference. If it wasn't for light, then you wouldn't be able to tell. So then they decided to bring it down from white people being the dominant and then black people being slaves, and just kind of equal it out so that we're both benefiting off each other. But what also could have happened was that the black people could not only have risen up to equality with the white people, they could have also gone way above. And we could have ended up being slaves to the black people, and the black people would be getting their revenge. A good story for someone who goes to another dimension, the story could begin, they go to another dimension and see black people as slaves, so they immediately assume, oh, this must be a world where the black people never stood up for themselves. But then they soon realized, no, wait a minute, it was actually always the white people being slaves for the black people. But now the white people have rose up and now have gone beyond, and now are getting their revenge by making black people slaves. So the monoids start talking about how they're going to land on this new planet to replace Earth, but they have no idea what the people are like. They're told that it is run by Refusions, which is a very friendly race. But of course it's been 700 years, so it's become a legend. So was the Dr. Stephen and Dodo. The Dr. Stephen and Dodo actually went down in their history books, although I'm not quite sure if they really use books anymore. In their history records, we'll call them. So whatever they use would be referred to as a record now, I assume. So in their history records, the Dr. Stephen and Dodo are in there, but they're perceived as a legend, just as much as Medusa or Troy is perceived here. So the monoids decide that they will send like a test group to land on the planet first, and then explore, and then, you know, check out, make sure that everything's okay. But then another monoid points out, but if the race is evil and does want to attack us, by us sending a test group, they'll be warned that more are coming. And then one just says, yes, I have thought of that, come on, huddle in and listen, so that us, the viewer, can't hear. But they're the only ones in the room, so why would they do that in real life, though? The Dr. Stephen and Dodo are put to work, just like the other humans. But the humans are content to obey, just as much as the monoids were content to obey earlier, wink wink. So the doctors, Dodo and Steven, inspire the humans like, why not try and just attack the monoids? They're a lot weaker and slower than you. But then they say, yeah, but they have more powerful weapons than us. So they try and strangle one of the monoids, but another one just comes in, because there's so many of them that their greatest defense are their weapons, and then comes each other. Teamwork always prevails. Except in Superman 2. But anyway, and then the monoids say, Doctor, you and the girl, referring to Dodo, will come with me, while Steven stays and keeps working. I would have thought that sexism and ageism would have been stopped by the 57th segment of time. Have I mentioned this on YouTube yet? It's a very serious topic that many people haven't really seen. Have you ever been told, don't hit a woman, don't touch a woman, stuff like that? That's sexist. in case if you hadn't noticed, I don't care if I get hate comments for saying this, that sexists don't hit a woman. Apparently it's much better to hit a man, but if you hit a woman then it's like 10 times worse. Why? Women can be just as strong as men. Yeah, sure, you can argue in history, blah blah blah, women are designed to be weaker. Blah, 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 blah. Are you aware that in Lion Kingdom, the males actually stay back and protect the family while the females go out and actually hunt and find the food and stuff like that? They both have equally responsible and equal difficulty jobs, despite even the fact that the females have one defense system less. The male lions have those weird hairy manes things that can protect themselves against predators. If they try to bite their neck, they'll just bite into this giant mass of fur, and that might disgust them a bit for a few seconds. Females don't even have that, and yet the lions don't care. They give them just as much difficult job as the men do. And in fact, when you think about it, the men in our species are the ones with less defense systems. Okay, you can laugh at this, sure. Has it ever occurred to you that the men actually have more delicate privates? I think that the women have kind of done the equal and then beyond. Like, God. Oh my God, it's gone so dark. Yeah. Sorry, the sun's been setting. Okay, so that's the end of part 3. So it turns out that their fusions are actually invisible creatures. They used to be visible, but then apparently a solar flare happened or some other thing, and now they're invisible. And they can't even see each other, although they can sense when another being is with them. But that's it. Other than that, they're invisible. So they want other people to inhabit the planet with them. But the monoids just want to take it over. So the refusions blow up the monoid spaceship and another monoid, and the Doctor and Dodo are now left on the planet. Now, one of two things can happen. Either the monoids are going to send another test party, or in which case the Doctor and Dodo have a chance of getting on that spaceship, going back to the Ark, and then finding the TARDIS and leaving. And Steven, of course. Or monoids might take the sudden disappearance of the other monoid that planet is dangerous, and they might go find a different planet, in which case the Doctor and Dodo will probably be there for the rest of their lives. Bow wow wow, bow wow wow. What I find weird about the monoids is that they kind of remind me of the bee guys from the web planet. I keep on forgetting. I remember that the ants were called Zarbi. I can't remember what the bees were called. Dang it. Okay, anyway. Bees normally talked sort of like this, moving their hands around to represent their words, even though they had no meaning to our knowledge anyway. And the monoids kind of talk like this, just pushing their shoulders and chests in front with every single syllable. I feel really bad for this guy who feels so let down that the monoids have betrayed them. It's like your parents being so loyal to you, and then all of a sudden you find out that they're like aliens and they're sent to destroy Earth and stuff like that. He still believes the monoids are good. He runs up to the monoids and tells them, like, I'll do anything to help you, but before he can even say any of that, the monoids just shoot him. Before he can even react to the fact that he just got betrayed in front of his face.
A landing now, Doctor. Good. That means the gravitational bearing must have rectified itself.
All of a sudden the Doctor's okay with Steven flying the TARDIS now?
Snake bath?
Yes. Very nice. Bless you. Doctor? Well, where are you? What do you mean, dear boy? I'm still here, Huh?
Doctor, you vanished.
What? Oh, nonsense, child. Nonsense.
You have? Do you think this is something to do with the refusions?
That's a pretty good theory.
It must be. You're wrong. This is something far more serious. We're in great danger.
Yeah, when aren't you?
This is some form of attack.
So that was the Ark. Would I recommend it? Yeah, sure, why not? It's probably gonna be a fun watch. Galaxy 4, Mission to the Unknown, The Mythmakers, The Doc's Master Plan, The Massacre of St. Bartholomew's Eve were all found stories and were found on the and were released on DVD, and they're all on my shelf. The Ark would probably just kind of blend in with the stories again. It wouldn't really stand out, kind of like the Centaurs and the Daleks' invasion of Earth. It's just the fact that, you know, it's like a found story in the middle of this sea of reconstructions that it stands out in my collection. But yeah, it's a pretty good idea. It's kind of a two-parter within a four-parter, because part 1 and 2 kind of are just a story in themselves, and then the Doctor arrives 700 years later, and parts 3 and 4 are kind of a story in themselves, and they are collectively just a four-parter, but it's kind of two-parters, sort of. I don't know. Go check it out if you want. You probably won't need to watch it more than once, though, because then, you know, it's kind of a one-time thing. But, yeah, it's not really a well-known story except for episode 2 cliffhanger, but I can see why people would find it boring. I thought it was great. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like so that I know that you enjoyed it. And if you didn't like it, please leave a dislike so that I know that you didn't enjoy it. Leave a comment down below if you liked it. Tell me why so that it feels awesome to get some motivation. And if you didn't like it, leave a comment down below saying why you're going to dislike it. So that way I can improve for next time. Or I'm just going to treat your dislike as if it were a like. Or you can comment first, or beep beep, I'm a sheep, whatever you feel like it. And subscribe so that you know when my next video comes out. Thanks again so much for watching, and as always, I will see you next time. Bye bye. Oh, review story number 24, The Celestial Twinmaker. Bye bye.